Today's social media segment is brought to you by South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough.
Hello and welcome back to this edition of Bayou Time. Again, your host, Keith Whiteside, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it very, very much. And, you know, it's all the good things that happen in our community that we love to be able to share with you. One of the best ways to do that is with our good friend, Miss Amy Poisson. Thanks for joining us today.
Keith, it's always a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you, Amy. I appreciate that. Of course, CEO of Catholic Foundation of South Louisiana.
Yes, sir.
And you guys get a chance to really go and see all the really good things that people are doing to help others. And one of these is this endowment that the Delahaye family had done over at Nicholls at St. Thomas. Huh?
Yeah, Dr. Delahaye was a very special man. Nicholls was, he taught at Nicholls for many years, and he was very special to the university. And during his time there, he had a beautiful relationship with St. Thomas Aquinas Church there, and watching the kids through Colonel Catholics participate in youth ministry, and seeing that parish flourish. He just really began to love it. And one of the bread and butter of what we do, I know we talk about a lot of initiatives between you and I when I'm here, but working with families like Dr. Alfred and his family and others across the community, and creating a legacy that they would be very proud of for the ministries that is very close to their heart. That's exactly what he did. It's unfortunate, and it was very sad in his passing. However, his name through this endowment will continue to live on for generations to come, ensuring that St. Thomas is well taken care of, well cared for, so that they don't have to worry.
And it's a wonderful donation, too, as we see several members of Nicholls and, of course, members of the church there.
Yes.
So really, really cool.
So Dr. Alfred, in this picture, actually you'll see Gerald and Catherine Block on the corner, that he worked very closely with Gerald and Catherine in creating their estate and us with our foundation to define exactly what he wanted in his passing. Before, he was very intentional in his planning, which is very beautiful. It's a very beautiful act of stewardship to ensure that he didn't just take care of our foundation and St. Thomas. He left funds for Nicholls State University. And his loved ones. You know, many of his loved ones received beautiful gifts for Dr. Alfred. So in his planning ahead of time, he was able to ensure that his family received gifts that he was intentional about, that Nicholls and St. Thomas.
And again, paying that forward. So I'm so very fortunate that when my son was going to school at Nicholls, we were a part of that. And then thereafter, even after he left and moved on, we continued to go there. And just the praise and worship team there is just remarkable. I mean, the love of God flows very clearly through that church.
Oh, it's alive, and on fire. And Father John David Mathern and their recent past, pastors and priests that were there, and Father Mitch Seymour and Father Andre Melanson. Before that, I think it was Father Joey Palola.
Correct.
These are just dynamic priests who know how to engage with young, and I say young people, college-age students.
Sure. Young adults.
But it's not just a college student, church. It is a church parish with live and thriving, with families that they don't go to Nicholls. They're just part of the community. And his intentionality to make sure that church parish is going to be supported in his name is something so beautiful. So this time next year, St. Thomas will be receiving the first distribution from this gift.
Oh, wow.
To have that perpetuity to support their work.
Wow. And again, it's one of those things where you see very often these college ministries, or you see a church on a college campus, and they don't necessarily do so well. But I will tell you, the focus, the dedication of these young people going to school. I mean, creating a later mass on Sundays.
Very intentional.
Yes. Great. That's the word, right? Very intentional about what they believe. And for anybody, traditional college age, 18 to 22, when they go home and they do whatever it is that they do at home, and then they come back, and their first focus is to get settled into their dorm or their apartment, and then get ready and go to mass.
No, it's
That's
unbelievable.
powerful.
Yes, it's a thriving ministry there on campus, and unfortunately, the Catholic Church, you'll see across the country that generation, that demographic, those young 20s, they're what's leaving the church right now.
Correct.
However, in our diocese, is very different because of Nicholls State University,
Right.
and because of St. Thomas and Colonel Catholics. They're engaging, and I say meeting the people where they are.
Right.
A 7 a.m. mass for a college student, probably not going to go very well.
Right.
That 5 p.m. mass though on a Sunday or on a Saturday, that's when you're going to capture them. So, these pastors were very intentional in their planning, knowing that they're going to have to meet them. You can't expect someone to come the other way around. Right. We got to go to them and evangelize.
Yeah.
But their focused ministries on campus with them, and they are live and on fire and doing great things. They have, I think, No Bread Alone on Tuesdays throughout the year, where businesses come to St. Thomas and cook for these students. So it's not just evangelization with Christ, but a unique relationship of the community engaging them in a very beautiful way.
And much like you said, it's not just a student church. It is a community church. And we've got so many people that live in that area where the young adults are helping. They're making sure that they're there and enjoying that church. And so again, I'm so very excited. I think about St. Thomas all the time and what they're doing, and John David and his work there, and just really changing that legacy each year, or each new reign, if you will, each new pastor really making a difference.
Yeah, and really honestly, I know this gift is very big, but anybody can do this with literally one sentence in their will of, I want to leave X or a percentage to their parish of choice with our foundation. And I'm happy to assist them in that capacity if they ever are interested.
Well, and we appreciate that. And so they can reach out to you, as always, over at the Catholic Foundation. And Amy, we thank you for coming on and sharing the good news with us, right? So there's the good news that we learn through what we know in our Catholic Foundation and your foundation, but the good news of helping other people. So we always appreciate it.
Appreciate it. And thanks to HT for always being a proponent of our community.
Always. All right, guys, that'll do it for this particular segment. But don't go anywhere. A whole lot more right here on HTV.
When you have a history of greatness, the real challenge starts after the finish line. When victory alone isn't enough, you chase something greater, no matter how difficult the path, on the dirt, in the sand, and beyond. The new 2024 Ridgeline, Passport, and Pilot, part of our most rugged trail sport lineup yet. From Honda,